Sensational headlines claim the BRICS nations have slapped a 100% tariff on all U.S. exports, a supposed economic assault on America. In reality, this narrative is backwards. The threat of a 100% tariff actually came from Washington, not from BRICS. In late 2024, President Trump floated the idea of a tariff wall against BRICS countries, aiming to deter them from abandoning the US dollar in global trade. This was a preemptive move to protect the dollar's dominance, not a response to BRICS aggression. The real story is about US policy-aggressive tariffs and tough trade negotiations, not a BRICS-led trade war. Misinformation like this fuels unnecessary hostility and distorts public debate. When people believe the US is under attack, they're more likely to support harsh policies without understanding the real origins. Setting the record straight is crucial for informed debate on foreign policy. The truth: America is using its economic leverage to maintain the status quo, not defending itself from a foreign onslaught. De-dollarization has become a central geopolitical issue. The US dollar's role as the world's reserve currency gives America immense power. BRICS nations want to trade more in their own currencies, prompting the Trump administration's 100% tariff threat. Washington sees any move away from the dollar as a direct challenge to its global leadership, a red line not to be crossed. For BRICS, reducing dollar reliance is about economic sovereignty and protection from US sanctions. They argue the current system is unfair and are building alternatives as a defensive measure, not an attack. This clash sets the stage for a high-stakes standoff, the US defending its system, BRICS pushing for change. The 100% tariff threat is the most visible sign of this conflict, turning currency debates into potential trade wars. The outcome will shape the future of global finance, whether through confrontation, negotiation, or gradual change. BRICS has grown far beyond its original members, now including Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia, and Indonesia. This expanded BRICS Plus bloc represents over half the world's population and a rising share of global GDP. The addition of major oil exporters threatens the petrodollar system, accelerating the push for de-dollarization. BRICS Plus is building alternative trade and financial systems, challenging Western dominance. In response to US tariffs, BRICS finance ministers have united against American protectionism and called for reforms in global institutions. China frames BRICS as a platform for cooperation, but the group's real goal is a multipolar world with more distributed economic power. The rise of BRICS marks a fundamental shift, a new coalition with shared interests in reforming the global financial system. Trade tensions with the US are only strengthening their resolve. The world is witnessing the emergence of a powerful bloc determined to operate outside the traditional dollar-dominated order. The US-China trade conflict is the most intense front in this global economic struggle. The Biden administration escalated the tech war in late 2024, restricting exports of advanced semiconductors to China. China hit back, banning exports of critical minerals like gallium and germanium, exposing its leverage over global supply chains. This tit-for-tat showed that trade wars cut both ways. China has powerful non-tariff weapons. In July 2025, a partial truce was reached. The US lowered some tariffs on Chinese goods, and China eased its own tariffs and lifted its mineral export ban. The deal eased tensions but didn't resolve the deeper rivalry over technology and economic influence. The US-China dynamic reveals a hard truth. Both sides are deeply intertwined, making a full decoupling costly and difficult. The partial deal is pragmatic. Neither side can afford a total breakdown. But the core issues remain unresolved and future flare-ups are likely. This rivalry is shaping the broader global trade landscape. The US can impose tariffs, but China's role in manufacturing and raw materials gives it real leverage. The world economy is caught in the crossfire of this ongoing competition. The truce is fragile and the next chapter is uncertain. US tariffs now reach far beyond BRICS, shaking the entire global trading system. In April 2025, the Trump administration imposed a sweeping 10% tariff on most imports, with threats of more for countries aligning with BRICS. Allies like the EU and Japan scrambled to negotiate deals to avoid higher tariffs, often on US-favored terms. Even Canada and Mexico faced threats of steep tariffs, forcing emergency talks and new agreements. Some countries struck deals but usually at a disadvantage, like Vietnam, which accepted a 20% tariff on its goods while giving US products free entry. These bilateral deals undermine the multilateral trading order, replacing it with transactional power politics. Critics warn these tariffs will raise prices for American consumers and hurt US manufacturing competitiveness. The International Chamber of Commerce highlights the difficulty of shifting supply chains away from China. The result, a more fragmented, expensive, and unpredictable global economy. The era of stable, rules-based trade is under threat. Despite talk of de-dollarization, the US dollar remains deeply entrenched in global finance. It still accounts for nearly 2/3 of global foreign exchange reserves, and most energy trades are priced in dollars. The petrodollar system, though challenged, is intact. Oil deals worldwide are still done in dollars. No other currency matches the dollar's liquidity, stability, or trust. BRICS faces internal divisions and technical hurdles in creating a true dollar alternative. Political rivalries, like between China and India, make consensus difficult. The Chinese yuan isn't fully convertible, limiting its global appeal. Without open, transparent markets, a BRICS currency can't replace the dollar. De-dollarization is a long-term ambition, not an imminent reality. The dollar's dominance will persist, even as a more multi-currency world slowly emerges. The world is shifting from hyperglobalization to a more fragmented, competitive economy. US tariffs and the rise of BRICS are symptoms of this deeper transformation. Consumers will feel the impact through higher prices as tariffs raise costs on imported goods. The era of cheap, globally sourced products may be ending, replaced by regional supply chains and higher costs. Companies must adapt, rethinking global strategies and managing new political risks. Friendshoring and nearshoring are on the rise, but they're less efficient and more expensive. The future depends on whether nations can balance competition with cooperation on shared challenges. The global economy faces a turbulent, uncertain road ahead.